Hello, all you drama enthusiasts. Welcome to the meeting. This is Angie's Drama Room, and I am your meeting host, Angie. And today, let's discuss weekly roundup. What is the weekly roundup? These are Asian-inspired dramas that either I have finished watching, still watching, or stopped watching. And these going to be a combination. Today is going to be a combination of Chinese and Korean dramas. Okay, so it's a combination of both. It's quite a few here, not a lot, but it is quite a few here. Let's start. My Youth. We know this stars Song Joong Ki. My Youth. If you follow me on X, I stated before it's like a split drama, and you see a lot of it now. What's going on? They have the adult version who high school sweethearts come back and to present time, right, and try to meet up again. That's it. That's kind of how the story goes, and we have seen a lot of those type of stories that evolved. But then when they do the flashback, they have a totally different teen versions of themselves. So there's teen actor and actresses who play the teen version of themselves, which makes sense, right? Because they're too old to play a teen. So it's almost like two different dramas. And so they're trying to give you a flashback of how their life was when they were teens, and then they flash back into the present time, then they go back. So those type of dramas, you kind of just watching. Who are you watching it for? Are you coming in on the teens, or are you coming in because of Song Gong Chi Key? The drama itself is not bad. I know they're saying the ratings are tanking, and it's only been 2 episodes, if that. I think it's two. So yeah, but I can understand why. Now his look is a little bit different, during present day. And basically, what happened was he was a teen. He was a what do you call it? A child actor, right? He was a child actor, and then he had his fame and fortune. He got award, but then boom, I guess something happened. He crashed. Now he is a teen living on his own, uh, trying to survive on his own, and going to high school. And then he had a deadbeat dad. His mom took off somewhere, and some rich woman, Nuna, comes along and wants to marry the deadbeat dad. And the dad drops his child, the little daughter, which is Song's half sister, and said, "Here, take care of her because I can't take care of her." And I'm like, and so he even asks, "It's like, what do you see in my father that you want to be?" And she says, "Oh, I just wanted to be, I just feel like I need to be with him." So then she gave him living expenses too, but he didn't want to use it. But his pride is kicking in. Now this is just the teen version. So the teen version was kind of interesting, if you want to get into the messy family dynamics. The teen version was better. The adult version, they just get together and try to figure out and be clumsy with each other, or not knowing what to say to each other, and try to pick up from where things were left off, and being coy. That's what it is. You're trying to be coy with together. I didn't realize I'm going to say too much about that, but that's what My Youth. So again, it's only 2 episodes now. I think I will continue to watch it. But yeah, Legend of the Female General, C drama, another costume drama. Of course, it was Chung Lee. I stopped at episode 21. I saw enough of it. Um, uh, it gave me enough, and at that point, Shadow Love came in. I dropped it. I can't go back over there. I did try to pick it up while because while we're waiting for the next episode of Shadow Love. I did try to go over and pick it up. It still didn't do nothing for me. I actually stopped watching it periodically anyway before Shadow Love. But anyway, it's just, again, if you're there, I think a lot of people were there mostly for Zhao Yi. But if you wanted to go over there for Chung Lee, um, yeah, he was just, as I said before, basic eye candy. Footprints of Change, of course, that's the third Chung Lee show. He had 3 dramas all in one time that came out. Now we know that Lu Yining, he had The Prisoner of Beauty. Right after Prisoner of Beauty ended, he had A Dream Within a Dream. So, but yet one ended and the other one began. This one, he had them all at 3 of them all at the same time. Even though it was the tail end of the female general, but still, he had 3 of them all at the same time. And somebody tweeted about it and said, "Let this man's love of employment find me." I'm with you, sister. Or I don't know if it was a sister or not, but anyway. But again, I already mentioned it on my recap, my final review. It was a Republican era drama. If you, I loved, even though he was in it, and that's the reason why I started watching it. But it was more for me to understand it. The story did not, the storyline fell short for me. So yes, I kind of dropping it. Summit of Our Youth. It was a total dud. I'm going to leave a link of some of these dramas. I did do a full review on it, so I am going to leave a link of the dramas I did the full review on it in the description box below. But Summer Youth, it was a dud. Don't even bother. It made no. All this stuff was just sensationalized, overdrawn, nothing, because it didn't play no role to nothing at the end of the drama. It reminded me of some drama. I'm going to leave the name of the drama here. And basically what she was doing, she was a script writer or book writer or webtoon writer or something. And so they told her she had to put all this stuff in this drama. And while she was writing the drama, so she was playing in her mind how the drama was played out. So when she's finished, she sends it to the editor, and the editor point out certain things that didn't make sense in the drama. So that's kind of what it was to me. At least that made a little bit of sense. Even then, I did kind of stop watching that one too. I skipped through the episodes on that one. But yeah, Some of the Youth, there was no, to me, it was just a waste of drama. I don't know. It just seems like the female lead, they try to bring her out, I suppose, but she is not what we would call a idol drama person, because you have to have a certain enthusiasm when you're an idol drama role. But it seemed like she was just too stern. Bon Appetit, Your Majesty. Yes, I believe we're on episode 4 as the time of airing. I'll let you know in the description here. I'll let you know if it was. I think it's 4. I think we're going into 5 and 6. Bon Appetit, Your Majesty. Yeah, it starred, of course, what's her name? Yuna. And then it was also Lee Cha-min. I have read somewhere where Lee Cha-min he only had 10 days to incorporate himself into this role, because the person who was supposed to be in that role had a controversy. So we kind of might know who that might have been. However, so he only had 10 days to incorporate himself in the role. He's actually pretty good. It is what I think he was pretty good. The only thing I don't understand too much about is how is her being a chef going into ancient times relevant to the story. She's a chef going into time, and technically the story is all about the food. This should have been Tastefully Yours. Should have been like Bon Appetit, Your Majesty, about the food. If you're going to talk about food dramas, whether it's a melodrama, costume drama, or an idol drama, you got to talk about the food. Tastefully Yours, it wasn't even about the food. It was just, a lot of talk and a lot of playing out a role. They didn't take time to incorporate. They talked about certain elements of food, and even I'm sorry, I'm going off of Tastefully Yours, but even the Tastefully Yours, the ending was stupid. I get, and I think, I don't know if it's because of the controversy he was in, I don't know, but the ending was stupid. So they did, in Tastefully Yours, of course, they had competition, and then in Bon Appetit, Your Majesty, they had competition, and that's all she did. And when she was in this, when she went back and went into this era, Joseon era, there was a lot of competition of her food, and she said, "Can we stop with all this competition?" But it's still entertaining. It's still enjoyable, and the food. If you want a food show, this is it. If you want to know a lot more about the cuisines, and a lot of it is not really Korean cuisines. Really, it was a lot more of other certain look gourmet eating that she incorporated, and she did all this with wooden stoves and fire. The little cookie thing. Now she cannot get that same texture with a wooden stove. But here we are. And they were like eating stuff like the flurries and everybody excited and yeah. So yeah, Bon Appetit, Your Majesty. I'm still watching it. It's still actually pretty entertaining to watch. And then we have Tempest. Tempest is a political thriller. This stars Jung Ji Hoon, I believe. I loved her. The Deep Blue Sea, something stars, right? Um, I just that's kind of who I saw her first on the Star one, right? It's Love Beyond the Stars or something like that. That's where I started her on, and then from there I've been following her, and she hasn't done a lot of things after the Blue Sea thing too, and I really enjoyed her. So that's the reason why I'm on it now. Um, it's only I know I'm not quite sure. I think I read it was only 9 episodes, but it's too complex. It's a political drama, and it's too complex for it to only be 9 episodes. And they added a lot of characters. It's kind of interesting that they did add American characters and American uh, political realm along with North Korea and then along with South Korea. So something her husband dies tragically. So now she's trying to find out what really happened. What is it? He's supposed to be a spy, and this is how we are. Our male lead comes in and helps save her from the gunman when her husband died. The eeriness of this whole thing, if you not know, in the States, we had a tragic accident happen where a young man who had his own political views or his own ideology of certain things just got shot. And I was just watching the exact same scene in Tempest that happened, and that was a little eerie. Okay, but I am still kind of watching right now. I think we're on episode 3 and 4, so it's 4 episodes right now. So I'm like in the middle of the third episode. Confidence Queen, Park Min Young. Yes, Park Min Young. Confidence Queen is the art of the con. That's all it is. It's not a taxi driver or revenge show. Okay. It's more like Ocean's 11 here in the States. We had Ocean's 11, 12, and 13, whatever. That's kind of what it is. It doesn't make sense. I might even dropped it. Uh, so we know Park Min Young as her and 2 other gentlemen. And it opens up where one of the younger gentlemen was with a shaman, and the shaman was conning a mother and daughter because the daughter supposedly has something happens. She gets into a coughing fit while she's in school, and the daughter's like, "This because I have asthma, mama." And so the shaman convinced the mother to give up her life savings, basically the money that she didn't even have. And so she convinced her. Somehow they did it, and so she transferred 20 million won for this. Now 20 million won could have helped with her medication. That would have been better, but you know. And so the art of the con, basically, what they did was they conned her out of that money. All the money she did, they conned her out of that money. But you think they'll flip it and give it back to the wife or whoever the money goes to? No, they keep it for themselves. So they're trying to say was, well, we're taking money from the villains, but you're not giving it back. So it's not a revenge show. You're just keeping the money for yourself. You're just using them while they're taking money from other people, from vulnerable people, and you take the money, and then you're taking that money that they took for yourself. So technically, you're still cheating the vulnerable people out of their money. So I might be stop watching that one because it's just nothing there really. It's just a lot of glam and fashion, smokes and mirrors, trickery, how to trick the people into giving up their money. The guy disguising yourself. The Nice Guy, I did do a final review on The Nice Guy. It's okay. It was great drama. It is what it was. It is a what do you call it? Crime drama. I mean, melodrama. I don't even think it was a melodrama, but uh, Lee Dong-wook. If you like Lee Dong-wook, I love Lee Dong-wook. I love the older generation of the OGs, Korean. Um, but I finished watching it. If you want to go back and watch my review on that. The Winning Try. This is an inspiring sports drama, right? Inspiring sports drama. It was actually pretty good. I love those type of dramas. You know, the sportsmanship, the rallying around your team and making it go forward. The only thing at the end, this is kind of like a spoiler. I forgot about that guy that left the group in the beginning, but I forgot about them. I was like, who's that? But it was very good. It was actually pretty good. It's on Netflix. Dear Enemy. This was a Chinese drama. Um, it was now these are one this one was something I actually watched before. It was like a while ago, but I just haven't did a review on it. It's about three friends that came together for friendship and love and stuff. One friend was married, of course. The other friend was the bohemian type, you know, who's in her mid 30s and not married yet, but yes, she's free spirited. And then you had the other one who is like, she wasn't a mistress, but she was the pretty talented one. They all kind of incorporate themselves in the same type of industry and business. But however, the funny thing about the Dear Enemy, one of the things that you can't be that naive. Um, uh, One of the one that was married's husband was trying to X out a business partner, and they all knew each other. And so the way that what the business partner did, the other guy did, not the business partner, not it wasn't a business partner, it was just somebody with financing, right? And he wanted to X him out of it. So what that person did, he used the wife and told the wife and made the wife a VP, vice president of the company. Plus gave her like some folk, it was an actual case. He was an investment broker. Actually gave her an actual case, but he was already going to approve it anyway. She didn't have to do nothing. You know, told her to make little tweaks here and there to make it seem like she was doing something. And made her a VP. I thought she was going to come in as a consultant. No, made her a VP, gave her assistant. It was just a faux job. And she actually thought she was a VP. And the only reason why I say that is because right after college, she goes and she gets married. So she had no job experience. She just had a college degree, whatever that was, and she had no job experience. She was just a socialite young woman, married woman. So, so why did she think she could be a VP? Even they were like, what kind of mess are you thinking about? Even the dad, I'm with the husband on that one, but that's kind of what it was. Um, the Immortal Ascension, right? I stopped it at episode 1.5. This was with Yang Yang. In the beginning, where those things are, they catch you in the beginning with the whole dramatics and whole thing, and then we're like 400 years later, 400 years before. I'm like 400 years before. What the heck is going on? You know, it used to be a month, a year, 3 years, no, 400 years before. So he was already the god of something, you know. But then 400 years ago, and then they start his journey. It was a pretty drama. The way they directed it, he was poor. He's a pauper. He was poor. He was very poor. And but yeah, he had a certain aura in him that that would have ignited him to be this grand god, supposedly. Deep Affectionate Eyes is a contemporary idol drama. That one was okay. It was a lot of misdirecting in that one also, but it was an idol drama. I finished watching the whole thing, and I kind of it was again, if you like idol dramas, contemporary idol dramas, which I do, I did finish watching the whole thing. It was still entertaining. There's some contemporary dramas that I like. It's just sensationalized. It was just There was no substance, just style. So, but this one was actually pretty good. It was all right. All right, so those are the dramas of the weekly roundup. What I've been watching it, if all the dramas that I actually have finished watching, and if I did a review on it, I'll leave the link in the description box below. Thank you for watching. Meeting adjourned.